Hi, I'm Bugsy and I'm a recovering addict. I'm going to be reading Just for Today, November 26, 2024, Responsibility, page 344, IP number 8, Just for Today. A lot happens in one day, both negative and positive. If we do not take the time to appreciate both, perhaps we will miss something that will help us grow. Responsibility. Responsibility. The responsibilities of life are everywhere. We're supposed to wear seatbelts. We're supposed to clean our homes. We're supposed to do certain things for our spouse, our children, the people we sponsor. On top of all this, we're supposed to go to meetings and practice our program as best we can. It's no wonder that sometimes we want to run from all these tasks and escape to some far-off island where we're not supposed to do anything. At times like these, when we've become overwhelmed with our responsibilities, we have forgotten that responsibility need not be burdensome. When we have a desire to run away from our responsibilities, we need to slow down, remember why we have chosen them, and pay attention to the gifts they bring. Whether it's a job we normally find challenging and interesting, or a partner whose personality we're usually excited by, or a child whom we naturally like to play with and care for, there is joy to be found in all the responsibilities of our lives. Just for today, each moment is special. I will pay attention, grateful for my responsibilities and the special joys they bring. When we were using, we didn't feel anything outside of the urge and necessity and desire to use more. And our only responsibility was to fall into that urge, to make sure that we feed our addiction. That was our responsibility, the one and only, because we didn't care about any other responsibility. The house, the kids, the job, nothing. We didn't care. As long as we were getting our fix, we've completed our tasks for the day. And now that we're in recovery, our responsibility has grown tremendously, astronomically, comparatively to our addiction. Because remember, in our addiction, our only responsibility was to get high, to get drunk. Now, we have the gift and the chance to learn new responsibilities. And when you're the newcomer and you just got sober and you just got into recovery, the responsibilities don't have to be big. The responsibility could be, I'm not going to use today. I'll call my sponsor. I'll go to a meeting. I will find something to pass my time while I'm going through these physical withdrawal symptoms and then the mental withdrawal symptoms. That's in the beginning. And then once you get a hold of that and you start getting a routine of not using, okay, well, you know what? I think I'm ready to get a job. And you go out and you do the responsibility of doing interviews. First, you of course, apply, maybe make a resume. Then you do your interviews. Then maybe get hired. Now your responsibility is to not let your team or your company down, or even yourself, and you show up to work. You show up eager to learn, eager to find something to fill that void that addiction has left us, and we start to learn and maybe start growing within that company. And maybe, okay, you know what? I've gotten into the routine of going to work, but this job isn't, fulfilling the desire that I have inside. I need to reach out and find a job that is calling for me. And now the responsibility is to find a new job that fits you. So you continue to grow. Maybe the new responsibility is I got my kids back. Or maybe I'm about to have another baby. And my responsibility now is to remain sober, remain in recovery, and make sure that this child or these children have what they need to thrive in life. And then the other responsibility, I have my own place now. Or maybe I want to apply to get my own place because I'm staying with a family friend or a family member or whoever I've been staying with. And I feel like it's my time to move on and be in my own spot. So I've got to apply for a place to rent. And I've got to make sure that I have enough for the deposit. And my responsibility now is to save up for that deposit, save up for that rent, to look at my paycheck and say, okay, this is how much I need to use for rent, and this is how much I have left over for bills and food and whatever else, gas, things I need around the house, things I want to go do. These are the responsibilities that were given to us in our recovery. And though those responsibilities can feel overwhelming sometimes, because now you're feeling like you're being pulled all different directions when the only direction you were pulled before was, how can I feed my addiction? Now we have this gift of learning how to spread ourselves out enough to be able to handle each responsibility as they come. And once you get that house, now I've got to make sure that the house is clean. I can't live in, I can't live in dirty houses. I can't think of the word. I can't live in a dirty house. I have to make sure that the bathroom's clean. I got to make sure that the floor is swept and my laundry's done. And that is such a beautiful feeling, even when it's overwhelming, even when it feels like this is just too much for me to handle. I can't hold this all at once. I'm juggling my life. And sometimes I feel buried beneath it. But that's the beauty of recovery, is that we have learned how to take a step back and say, you know what, today is a little bit harder than yesterday. But I'm going to get through it today so that I can face tomorrow as well. Maybe lighten the burden a little bit. Make sure some of my responsibilities are done today. Maybe start a responsibility, start cleaning the house today and finish tomorrow. We have so much time now in recovery to figure out how we're going to make it through life. Figure out how we're going to prioritize the things in our lives, the people in our lives. And we can do it sober, and it's indescribable how much it feels, how rewarding it feels to be able to accomplish things, and the last thing, if at all, on your mind is getting high, getting drunk. It's almost like you're too busy living to worry about going back to that stagnant self of addiction, of the addict, of the person who is lonely in the darkness, lost, numb to the world. We don't have time for that person anymore because we don't live there. We don't know that person. That's not who we are anymore. So as weird as it sounds, be grateful for those days that are just overwhelming, stressful, and just feels like it's too much to carry today, because before, the only burden we had was feeding our addiction. And now we were responsible for our own lives and maybe other people's lives. If you have children or a family member you're taking care of, or a friend, or at work, depending on what you do, we are responsible. And that responsibility that falls onto us is amazing that we are trusted with it. Whether or not anybody around us knows that we were in addiction, the feeling that you know that you're making a difference in maybe just your own life and where you came from, that is a very rewarding feeling. And I've said it before where, getting into sobriety and recovery, sometimes just getting to work on time is a huge accomplishment. And it's a responsibility that I needed to do. I needed to make sure that I got up on time, got ready, and got to work on time. And I did everything I needed to do at work. And to me, it was a huge accomplishment. Everybody else, it's like, duh, you're supposed to get to work on time. Duh, you're supposed to do your job when you get there. But coming from addiction, where our literal life, our lives revolved around substances, it's a huge accomplishment to take that responsibility and take it seriously. So go out there, be grateful that you have responsibilities that people trust you with. Trust yourself with these responsibilities and watch yourself grow as you start to show yourself time and time again that I can handle this. No matter how overwhelming, no matter how stressful the days are, I am grateful for those days, because the days that are happy and joyous and full of accomplishment, those days outnumber those stressful days, even if it doesn't feel like it, because sometimes stressful days can be so condensed in such a short amount of time, like it's time, day. It can be very overwhelming. So just be responsible and be glad that you're able to have these responsibilities. And I've kind of gone on for a lot longer than I thought, and I hope everyone's doing well out there, and I will talk to you later. Bye.